New to web design? Pay attention to these 3 things and you will be light years ahead of your competition. And welcome back to another episode of Justin Day Digital for your weekly dose of marketing tips and tricks. Before we get started, make sure to smash that subscribe button and like the video. Do me another favor and comment web design below if this video brings you any sort of value. It really does help us when you guys interact with our videos, so get to it. Alright, let's jump right into this video. When starting a web design project, it's important to consider the basics. Web design is an art and a science that can be both technical and creative. Web designers use their skill in graphic design, user experience research, information architecture, interaction design, visual interface design, all while considering how people will use the website or app they're creating. There are many elements to consider when designing a website, but for now, let's stick to the basics and build on our rock-solid foundation. First thing is first. Your website experience needs to be consistent across the board. Whether that's on desktop, mobile, tablet, or flip phone. Every page and style needs to be consistent to build a brand trust and equity in your customers, which leads me to our first key element. You know those crazy websites that bright colors, huge out-of-place logos look insane on your phone and have 967 different styles? Yeah, that's not a good look or experience for your customers. Guaranteed the second they see that is the second you lost them. Great websites have intentional consistency, reflecting their brand in every corner of their business from print to digital. The best place to start for this would be to create a brand guidelines for your business, but we'll cover that in another video. For now, consider the following when putting together your website design. Is my logo the right size on every page? Your logo should always be globally sized to ensure consistency. Are my font sizing and styles consistent across headlines and body copy? We recommend having one main headline font and one body copy font that complement each other. More than 2 font styles can get a little messy, so keep it simple. Are my theme and accent colors the same on every page? Colors should match your logo and brand, but for web design, try sticking to 3 main colors with hierarchy: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Are my edges rounded or straight? This applies to buttons, dividers, headers, etc. Rounded edges are more playful and soft, while straight edges are more modern and hard. Does my website look great on desktop and mobile? We recommend using a responsive template. That way your website adjusts to different screen sizes for the best user experience no matter what. Bonus tip, is my tone of voice the same with all my copy? Since you created your avatar, you'll know what kind of tone resonates, and we highly recommend ensuring that tone is applied consistently so it feels like one brand, one voice. There's so much more to brand consistency, but this should give you an insight as to the impact it can make. It's all about the color. Color evokes so many emotions and immediate conclusions, whether you know it or not. Colors are your visual identity. They make or break your first impression and create emotional connections to your customer that develop brand loyalty over time. Again, these colors should be selected during your brand guidelines phase of your business, but for now, let's focus on why your color palette is so important. Before you can pick your web design color palette, it is important to understand the significance of colors and how they interact. This is frequently known as color theory. At its most basic level, color theory refers to the interaction of colors in a design through contrast, complementation, and vibrancy. Contrast is how you divide elements on your website. Think about it in terms of black and white, literally. If you have a black background with white text, your eye is drawn directly to the text. Contrast helps your readability by ensuring you can actually see what's going on the page. Keeping it simple is the way to go. Complementation. Basically, complementation is how colors look with other colors. They're opposites on the color wheel and provide balance for the eye. Complementation can be a great tool to help you choose which colors to use are good together. Vibrancy is the mood a color sets. Bright and warm colors are typically more energizing. Think reds and yellows, while cool colors typically make us feel a little calmer, like blue and green. These interactions between colors are what make up color schemes. Think of a scheme as a blueprint for choosing what colors go together. They are created by working within color families in the color wheel and with the elements of color theory. Your color scheme is what you use to choose your color palette. Now, let's talk color psychology. The world of color psychology is built on the idea that certain colors trigger certain feelings and emotions, which trigger certain courses of action. Choosing your website's color scheme based on an emotional experience you want to provide to your visitors has the potential to not only shape your brand's personality, but also elicit certain visitor reactions based on emotional ambience you create. Choosing the appropriate color palette for your websites becomes considerably simple once you know what each color is associated with. For example, if you're building a website for your spa business, it makes sense to use colors that represent nature and healing, such as green and possibly blue, which symbolize peace and trust. With so many color palette options that exist within the color wheel, using color psychology and as a guiding principle when choosing your color scheme allows you to make more informed design decisions and focus your theme and style in a way that suits your industry and business persona. Color psychology is one of my favorite topics, and there is so much more that goes into it. We'll do a deeper dive in another video. Aside from the color palette, the typography of a website is one of the most important and impactful influences of their experience. Stay tuned for more. The right typefaces elevate a design and make the content pleasant to read. The wrong typography, well, does the opposite and can ruin the visitor's experience and cause them to look at other alternative websites. On top of being pleasant to read, digital text must be designed for shorter attention spans. There are virtually endless website options available, many with better letters. Skimmability, as users tend to land on a web page, they're looking for something specific and want to find it fast. Accessibility, because not all internet users perceive or interact with web text in the same way. Multiple device types and screen sizes. Text should be legible across any digital medium. Like we discussed earlier, your tone of voice should be considered when selecting your fonts. Are you playful, serious, more traditional, more modern? Selecting your tone of voice will help you eliminate a lot of typeface options and help you narrow down the perfect fonts for your website. There's nothing that says you have to have more than one typeface in your design. However, using more than one typeface is an excellent method to provide both aesthetic appeal and emphasize the site's visual hierarchy. When choosing typefaces to combine, keep the following in mind. Determine the primary typeface you want to use. This may be either in the body copy or headline typeface, but you'll need something to get started. Consider the contrast between typefaces you want to mix. There must be adequate contrast between typefaces, but it isn't always necessary for them to be totally distinct. In fact, if there's too much difference, it might indicate that one typeface overwhelms the other. The fundamental shape of each typeface is crucial. Combining typefaces with only minor variations in form is usually a poor idea. You'll want to combine typefaces with the same approximately that have underlining forms. Are they the same as circle, condensed, wide, squared off, etc.? Or with significantly different shapes? Combining typefaces is a bit of an art and a science. Once you know the fundamental criteria for successful combination, finding the right type fit takes somewhat of a trial and error, so just play with it. Typography has the potential to significantly shape how visitors view a website. The proper typeface makes for an enjoyable experience, but type that is difficult to understand or does not match the site's tone can have a negative side effect and user experience. It's worth investing time and resources into finding the right fit. When you combine brand consistency, a well thought out color palette, and purposeful typography, you've got a winning formula to cohesive web design. Have fun with this part of the process and explore all sorts of styles until you feel like you've really nailed it. While you're in the exploratory phase, keep in mind that simple is always better. It's easy to get lost in the sauce of super creative design with gradients, micro animations, and all that fun stuff. But we're just getting started. So keep in mind that simple is a way to go. Remember, baby steps. Okay, you don't have time for this kind of research? Want the pros to do it right for you the first time? Day by Day Digital has always got your back and would love to learn more about your business. Click the link in the description for a free 30-minute consultation with a design specialist to create the website of your dreams. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next one. Later.